We have completed the Python and HTML, CSS, and JavaScript along with Bootstrap. Now, this is the time to learn Django frameworks. Basically, this course is mainly for Django framework, and for that only we have learned that technologies HTML, JavaScript, CSS. So now this is the time to learn Django. So we finally reached here, and when we dive into the technical details of Django, before going to the technical details about what is the files available and what is the code available in the Django frameworks, so we need to learn about the some basic things about the Django framework. Okay, so let me go to. So now you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So it is a free and open source framework. So I can tell you the framework and what is the framework. So framework is a tool in that tool we are using the pre-built code and packages, and by using that packages and code we will build a web application or any software. So that we are using many frameworks that is already built using the programming languages. So we have many JavaScript framework like Next.js, Node.js, and we have this Django framework that is backend framework for the Python applications. So you can build any type of application using Django frameworks, and it is known for Python because it is made by using the Python language. So that's why we are learning this Django framework for Python. Okay, so it is used by many famous websites. Many famous websites are also uh, made by using the Django, like Pinterest, DBS, Instagram, Bitbucket, Washington Times, Mozilla, and many more websites are made up of using that Django frameworks. So you can understand what is the importance of Django framework in making any web application. Django was created in 2003. So it was created by Lawrence Journal, world newspaper, that is started using Python for their development. So this is the one newspaper company that is started the Python using Python. They started their developments. So this fact is originated from this company only. Okay, now because the original developers were surrounded by writers, now this is the company which is publishing newspaper. This is not any software company which have made this type of framework. So the idea of Django originated from a newspaper company. So in newspaper company you can understand there are many writers, good written documentation. So there are many good writers available in newspaper company. Because of that, so we have good documentation available for Django, and this documentation we known as official documentation and official Django docs, and you can refer that official documentation uh, from the Django official websites. Okay, that documentation is good because that is created by a newspaper company. So Django has its own excellent basic tutorials also available in that. So using that tutorial, you can build minimum web applications like polling web app. This. So the reason it is poll also extend back to its newspaper roots. So they in the tutorial they have given the tutorial to make a polling polling app. So polling is also the root of newspaper things. So that's why you can understand the idea behind that. Now, when encountering Django tutorials, you will often read that you should create a virtual environment. So whenever you learn about any framework, you need to create the virtual environment. So virtual environment, what is virtual environments? Let's talk about that. So virtual environment allows you to have a virtual installation of Python and packages on your computer. So if you have virtual installation of Python and packages on your computer, then you can build the thing using that packages and Python. So that's why whenever you want to work in any framework, you need to install the Python and some packages on your computer so that you can learn, you can work on that. So in this Django also we need a framework. We need this virtual environment. Okay. So why would you ever want or need this? So packages change and get updated often. So packages is the thing which is change and get updated. So we need virtual environment for this. There are changes that break backwards compatibility. So what do you do if you want to test out new features but not break your application? So you create a virtual environment that contains the new versions of the packages. So this is the importance. Old packages are become outdated because of that. New applications are not functioning properly. That's why we need to create a virtual environment so that every time when you activate virtual environment, your packages automatically become get updated, become get the new version. So luckily, when we talk about the Anaconda make this really easy for making any virtual environment, and also Visual Studio Code in Visual Studio Code also you can make the virtual environment. So in these IDE like Visual Studio Code, Sublime or Anaconda, you need to make virtual environment cust by using the custom way. But when I talk about the PyCharm, so PyCharm when you create any project, so PyCharm automatically create that virtual environment. Now what you need to do, you just install the Django and use and make that web application directly. But whenever you use Anaconda these things, so for that Anaconda you need to create a virtual environment, and for that this is the command. Conda create name my environment Django. So here we created an environment called my environment. So if you are working on Atom text editor, you can follow this step. But I will recommend you go with me, and I will work on PyCharm and I will create the Django application in PyCharm. So you can skip that. Okay. And if you want to work on Atom, you can go to this thing. So now I am skipping this. And now this is the time to create the Django first project. Okay, so now this is the time to create Django first project, but before that let me tell you how to create the project and how to create a virtual environment in PyCharm. So this I already created Django application first project I already created, but now I am going to delete this so that I can make a new virtual environment in front of you. So this is the actually folder which I already made. Let me delete this from here and let me create new one here. Okay, so here I'm creating a new folder that is Django, and this folder I will use for making a virtual environment. So let me open the PyCharm. Okay, so I opened that PyCharm, and then PyCharm let me create a new project. Okay. So this was old. Let me create a new project. New project. So here I am in that folder. So I go to that Django folder. Okay, this is the Django framework, and I need to open this. So whenever I selected the Django framework, and all the setting will be remain like by default, then I will create a Django framework, but it is not creating because we have already available that Django. Okay, so let me delete this. So let me delete this also, and let me create a new folder with different name. Okay, let's say I will create a Django champ. Okay, now let me open the framework champ. So here I want to open new project. Every time you also need to create a new project whenever you are opening the first time. But here that folder is not available. Okay, why this is not available? Open project LMS. These are old project. Let me create the new project. In the champ space, we have Django Tech Crowd. We also have Django Full Stack. Just wait. Let me create a one folder here in our Python project. Let me open this. It is not new project. Wait a minute. I have deleted that. Why this is opening? Let me delete this from here. Remove from list. The champ space we have now. This we have already. Okay. New project now. Champ space. Let me create a new directory. Python project. So this I have created now. So I have made one Python project and now I need to create that. So whenever you select any folder and this automatically will create a environment. Let me close this terminal. Now this is our project. So now you can see this is a folder venv that is virtual environment, and this virtual environment is created automatically by this PyCharm Okay. And when you go for Atom or Visual Studio Code, any text editor, that will created by using the custom command line. Okay. But here in PyCharm, whenever you create a new project, it will directly create a virtual environment. Now you just need to install the framework. Okay. So for that, we will go to the this terminal, and here I already set up the virtual environment, and this is the virtual environment, all the files related to virtual environment. So these are all packages and Python, okay, that we will use for that. Now I need to install the Django. So for installing Django, you need to just type pip install Django. So when you do pip install Django, then it will install the Django framework like that. So this is creating the Django framework. Okay. And now Django framework is created. Okay. So we have created the virtual environment, and after that also we have also installed the Django framework. Now what is next? So this is saying that you can install Django, and whenever you want to install Django in Anaconda, so in Atom text editor you can use the conda install, but we are using the normal Python distribution using PyCharm, so we need to install the Django using pip install Django. So this. So we when you install Django, it actually also installed a command line tool called Django admin. So whenever we install Django, it directly automatically will install the Django admin. Now let's create our first project. Okay. So for that we need to run this command Django admin start project first project. So this will create your first project. So here I need to run this command Django admin. Okay. And start project. Let me see the syntax directly. This is a start project, and you can give the name of project any. So start project, and name of the project is first project, because this is the first project. So you can give this. So it is created. Now you can see this new folder is created, and inside this first project we have this first project. Inside we have different file like init.py, asgi.py, settings.py, urls.py, and wsgi.py. So these are the different files which is available in this first project, and I will talk about these different files. And we have also manage.py, and this is very important file for managing the web server. So let me tell you the configuration different files. So here we have seen this first project. Inside the first project we have different files. Okay, so let's explain what is going on here. So I will explain every file one by one. So when we talk about the first file, that is init.py, this is a blank Python script that due to its special name. Okay, init.py. So you can see init.py is a blank Python file. Okay, blank Python script that due to its special name lets Python know that this directory can be treated as a package. So this will be treated as a packet package. Okay, this for a script. Next, we have settings.py. This is where you will store all your project settings. So any project we will make, we will store the all the project setting in this folder, in this file settings.py. So you can see there are many settings that is already available, and what is the meaning of these lines of code, we'll talk about that later. But we are understanding which file is used for which function. So this settings.py is used for uh, all of your project setting. Now next is urls.py. This is a Python script that will store all the URL patterns for your project. So when for our project, we are using many URLs for homepage, URL for about us, contact us, and blog. So these all URL functionality will be deal in urls.py. Okay, so all the URLs patterns, what type of pattern you want to give. Just let's say you want to host a course on your website, so you need to give the URL, your website name, like the champspace.in/courses slash what is the name of that course, Python full stack development. So this you need to define so that it automatically from backend it automatically get that URL every time for every course. Let's say 1,000 course you published on websites. So that purpose we are using that urls.py. So basically, the different pages of your web applications are using the URLs method. Next, we have this wsgi.py. This is a Python script that acts as the web server gateway interface. So it is a Python script जो वेब को सर्वर से कनेक्ट करने का वर्क जो है ये करती है. इसको हम देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर WSGI है. और यहाँ पर एक ये import OS from Django.core WSGI import get WSGI application, and this is the thing which is communicating with server. Okay, now let me close that. Okay, so WSGI we have talked about that. This is the web to server gateway. It will later on help us deploy our web app to production. So this is the file this will use to host any web application on the production side. Okay, and another is manage.py, that is very important. This is a Python script that we will use a lot. It will be associated with many commands as we build our web apps. Okay, so next part is I have created the project, and what next is we need to run that project. So okay, so let me run that project so that we can see the project in a browser. So this manage.py also I wanted to show you. This is the manage.py file which we will use for many purposes. Okay, that I already told you. Now this is the time to create a to open a this web application, minimum web application in a browser. So for that we need to go to that directory of first project. So this is the directory of first project cd. Now we are in first project. So here you need to run python manage.py, और ये कमांड तो आपको याद होनी चाहिए बिल्कुल. माने manage.py run server. Now here it will run the server and will generate the URL. And this is the URL. Now whenever you open that URL in browser, and you can see your web application, your website is live on your local desktop. So this is the website which is live on local desktop. You can use the source code of that file. Okay, so this is the first project in Django. This is the first project you created. Now let me tell you what is next. So you should have also noticed the warning about migration. This has to do with databases and how to connect with it to Django. So actually whenever we run that command, it is showing some warning about the migration. Okay, and these warning things are actually related to database. Okay. And what is migration? A migration allows you to move databases from one design to another. This is also reversible. So you can migrate database from one design to another in Django, so that all the thing migrating the databases from one design to another is managed by migration. Okay. So you can migrate your database. Okay. We will touch back on this later. So for now, you can ignore this warning. That was the basics of getting started with Django. So this is all about the basics, how you will set up the environment for Django by using the PyCharm, and you can start with your first project by using this. Next, we will continue by creating a very simple Hello World Django application. Now it is the time to make a application. Okay, you have started the project. Now it is the time to make a Django application. So in the next session, I will tell you about the creating first Django application.